You knew we had to be doing one of these eventually. And welcome back to another Two Brothers review.
What up, fellas?
And of course, since Rise of Skywalker came out, we have to rank the Skywalker Saga.
We absolutely do.
All right, you know how this happens. We each have our own list. We don't know what either said. And we find out as we go, just like you guys will. And as always, I will let Tanner go first.
First episode. Number 9 in my ranking is episode 8, The Last Jedi.
Okay.
It had to be. I'm sorry. It had to be. Rian Johnson, you messed up, bro. So much wrong with this movie. The casino scene was completely unnecessary. They never found the
Codebreaker.
The codebreaker, and I just feel like it was just a big old waste of time. Other than getting the thief, that was the entire purpose of the whole movie. I know Leia's always been force sensitive, but the whole her using the force to get back to the ship thing, come on. The lightsaber battle between Luke and Kylo Ren. At that point, Luke's got short hair, and when he's on the rock, he has long hair. It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Him sucking the milk out of the dude's thing. I don't even know how else to describe it. Like, what? What? I'm sorry. The Last Jedi was just not that good.
All right.
I love Star Wars. Best scene in that whole movie was the Kylo Ren and Rey fight against all the guards. Best scene in the whole movie. Other than that, I'm sorry. Not that good.
Okay. Well, I like every Star Wars movie. I like all 9 episodes of the Skywalker Saga.
So do I.
But the one I like the least is the Phantom Menace.
Okay.
I love Qui-Gon and everything. The lightsaber duel between Darth Maul and Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. Probably maybe the best lightsaber duel in the whole saga. But I liked Jar Jar as a kid, but I see how people can find him annoying. Yeah, Anakin is basically being Jesus is kind of weird in terms of his origin story. Or no mother with no father. It's like, where'd you get that one, Lucas? Pours on blasphemy a little, but
Shmi, did you know?
Yeah. But it's got a lot of great action sequences. Maybe the writings could use some working parts, but again, I like all the movies. It's just the one I like least. I don't not like it. I just like it the least compared to the other ones.
It's like Yoda said in that movie, beer is a path to the dark side.
Yes. Wait, what?
All right. Number 8. Number 8, I have episode 2, Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
I only put this one above Last Jedi for one reason only, and that is the Yoda versus Count Dooku fight. We finally get to see Yoda in action with a lightsaber, which is the coolest thing. It's the coolest scene in the entire movie. I just kind of felt like it was really slow when they go back to Naboo and fall in love. Like, we didn't see that coming. Like, come on. He's got the robotic hand. Oh, that's original. Like, we did get to see Mace Windu's purple lightsaber for the first time. We did get to see his purple lightsaber.
Mother Flurkin.
So yeah, Attack of the Clones is my number 7.
Okay. You mean 8?
I'm sorry, my number 8.
All right, my 8 is The Last Jedi. I didn't mind it when I saw it the first time, and when I watched it again before we went to see Rise of Skywalker, I still don't get a lot of the hate this movie gets. I mean, I don't like it as much as some of the others, but I think a lot of it is unwarranted. I mean, I tend to agree about the whole Canto Bight side quest is a little slow and doesn't really pay off at all. But it has some funny moments therein. I mean, who doesn't like seeing BB-8 spit out all those coins?
That's true.
And I don't know. I liked it, but just not as much as the other ones. I mean, like you said, it's got some great action sequences, especially in the whole throne room thing. And Kylo Ren turning on Snoke like that, and
Snoke was wasted potential. I'm sorry, Snoke was wasted potential.
but we did find out a little bit about him in the next one. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, especially after Rise of Skywalker, when you watch it as part of the whole, I think
Makes a little bit more sense.
yeah, it makes more sense. And again, I thought there was some good character development. I do people hate on what they did to Luke, but when you again take it as a whole, it makes sense. I mean, Luke in Last Jedi is a lot like Yoda in Empire.
Yeah.
They both become kind of jaded and everything, both refusing to train their new apprentice when they show up. So I don't think Luke was completely out of character in that movie, and people talk about Snoke being wasted potential. I mean, what about Jabba the Hutt? I mean, when Return of the Jedi first came out, they were building Jabba for these 2 movies, and then you finally see him in it's a slug, and Leia kills him with a Jamie. So it fits with Star Wars as a whole. So there's nothing. I just think that things people hate about this one to really be said about any of the other movies at any point. So again, I think it gets more hate than it deserves, but still, lots of others I like more.
All right, fair enough. All right, we're on number 7 now. So my number 7 is Phantom Menace. 2 words: Darth Maul.
Darth Maul.
Darth Maul was the coolest. That guy had so much potential.
Mm-hmm.
He had so much potential as a villain, and he was just the coolest villain we've ever seen in the Star Wars franchise. I think. No disrespect to Palpatine, but he was one of the coolest villains.
Mm-hmm.
The double-bladed lightsaber, which we've never seen before. Obi-Wan as a Padawan. Anakin coming into the picture finally, because he's a person and his name is Anakin.
Right.
Watto, Jabba the Hutt. The pod racing scene was cool. So a lot of cool ideas. Just not my favorite, but I liked it better than Last Jedi and Attack of the Clones.
Okay. All right, number 7, I have Attack of the Clones.
Okay.
Yes. There are things to love about this movie. I mean, yeah, Lucas, he's not great at writing love stories. We all get that now, and Star Wars is kind of cheesy anyway. Love story is not really why I watch Star Wars, right?
Right.
So, again, granted whatever criticism we have of the love story and how Anakin hates sand. Okay.
Of course. Rough. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. So okay, I'll grant you some of the dialogue could have been better, but we finally get to see where the clones come from after waiting forever. We had that couple of lines in the A New Hope back all that time ago. People wondering about the Clone Wars, and now we finally get to see where they come from. And I liked the bit of espionage, the mystery factor behind it, and Jango Fett.
Jango Fett was cool.
He was a cool villain. Get to see where Boba comes from, where he learned everything. And I liked that bit of continuity, how Obi-Wan hit on the asteroid, and that's how Jango lost him, and Boba learned from that, and that's how he was able to find the Falcon and Empire. So that was a nice little callback.
Yeah.
Battle of Geonosis is excellent
scene. It was cool. I liked
all the Jedi fighting there together, and then Yoda shows up with all the clones to stay today. And then, like you mentioned, Yoda versus Dooku. That was such a great fight. Great, one of the greatest action scenes in the Star Wars series, I think.
In the prequel trilogy, for sure.
Certainly in the prequel trilogy. And learn how Anakin lost his arm and everything. So
remember, he slaughtered them all.
Yeah, so that's another thing is, you get to see the beginning of Anakin's fall to the dark side. So
slaughtered all the sand people. And
yeah, not just the men, but the women and children. People say that in Regis' Anakin's fall kind of came out of nowhere. No, it didn't. It was started right here. Actually, it even started back in the Phantom Menace. We talked about being afraid of losing his mother. So I don't agree with that criticism of Revenge of the Sith at all. I do think they did do a good job of showing Anakin's slow descent.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're on number 6.
Number 6.
Number 6, I have Force Awakens.
Okay.
Okay.
I also have Force Awakens at number 6.
Perfect. All right, so this was the first in the sequel trilogy.
Mm.
So we get a whole new cast of characters. We get Kylo Ren, we get Poe, Rey, Finn, everybody new. So we get our Jedi, we get our pilot, we get our third whatever, and we get our main villain. So Kylo Ren's like a cheap knockoff of Darth Vader, and excuse me. We all think that Finn is supposed to be the Jedi because that's what it looked like in the posters and the trailers and everything. No, it's Rey. Rey is the new Jedi, which I think is really cool having a female be the lead Jedi this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we get so many callbacks with like Han Solo coming back and Chewie, Leia, Luke at the end of the movie. Harrison Ford even said that he wanted Han Solo to die.
Han Solo died. Grown men cried.
Grown men cried at that scene. Chewbacca cried at that scene.
Mm-hmm.
It gets so much rep that it was like a redo of A New Hope. It wasn't. I'm sorry, it wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember the part of A New Hope when the stormtrooper defected, or the part where the guy killed his father, or any of that other stuff.
Or the part where Luke has a force vision of everything that happened in the past.
Yeah.
Because Rey's force vision was cool.
Mm. They never did tell us how Miles got the lightsaber, though.
It's in the comics.
Oh.
So if you want to figure that out, read the comics. I don't have time or the patience for that. So number 6, Force Awakens for me, which he was well.
Yeah. And I just need to say one thing here about the hate Kylo Ren gets about losing to Rey right away, and how Rey was able to do stuff with no training. Well, we've seen some of this before, forcing the people being able to use their powers without having any training. I mean, look what happened with Leia at the end of Empire, where she was able to contact Luke through the Force. She was never had any training, and Anakin was only able to do the pod races because he was Force sensitive and had the Jedi reflexes. So it's not without precedent. And also, before fighting Rey, Kylo Ren had taken a direct shot from Chewbacca's bowcaster. So that makes him the only person ever to survive a hit from that thing. The thing that blows stormtroopers apart, he took a direct hit from that and lived. Not only lived, but was able to fight afterwards. This is the guy who stopped a blaster bolt in midair at the beginning of the movie, something we'd never even seen Yoda or Palpatine do. I mean, and so yeah, Kylo Ren's not a bad villain. The only reason he lost Rey is because, again, he took a shot from the bowcaster and had fought Finn before as well. So he had been tired out by that point. So it's completely plausible. I don't agree with the people who make fun of Darth. I think Kylo Ren is a much better villain than he gets credit for. I think he is a great villain. I think his arc worked out really well.
Yeah. I liked his development over the movies too.
Yeah.
So, right. Number.
Oh, one thing though, I don't like how they don't mention how Phasma survived from Starkiller Base and ended up in The Last Jedi.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a
comic
or a book or something that explains it, but Star Wars is basically one movie. You should be able to get the whole story by watching each episode without the supplemental material. So they feel kind of cheated on that.
Yeah.
That and the lightsaber thing.
Yeah. All right. Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5. I have the one that started it all, A New Hope, or just Star Wars. The one that started it all. Go back to 1977, and it's the introduction of a whole new saga. We get Darth Vader. We get all these characters: Leia, Luke, Han, Chewie. We get a whole cast of characters, which is super cool. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Old Ben, R2, C-3PO. It's the one that started it all. It was granted, for its time, it was lackluster in the lightsaber duels, but the pilot scenes in space where they destroy the Death Star and how Luke is able to use the Force in order to blow up the Death Star, and Darth Vader's chasing him, and then Han comes in and saves the day. Leia, I don't even remember what all she does in the movie, really. She just basically just gets captured.
Hey, she put up quite a fight,
She did.
and she was the one who had the idea to, in the garbage chute fly away. She saved everybody with that part, so she was like the original action princess.
Yeah.
She didn't just sit around and wait for everything. She took plenty of initiative on her own.
Absolutely.
And going off what you mentioned about Luke using the Force with torpedoes. Again, here's another example. He was there formally trained, but he was able to do that, and he was able to do that because he used to bullseye womp rats in his D-16 back home, which is apparently impossible to do because they're so small. But he was able to do it because it's Force sensitive.
Yeah.
So again,
so it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, and that's my number 5.
All right. Number 5, The Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
What a satisfying conclusion.
It really was. I know it's getting a lot of backlash from critics like IGN and everybody. Stop. Just stop. This movie was great. I'm sorry. This movie really was great. It's the conclusion.
They really did tie up pretty much everything.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams did a great job of fixing Rian Johnson's mistakes. And lots of nostalgia in this movie. So much nostalgia.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously we're doing spoilers here. So yeah, finding out how Rey's a Palpatine. I didn't see that one coming. I don't think many people.
I did. I have said in the past maybe she's some sort of clone.
Yeah, I've heard of she's a clone of Palpatine theory, but the whole
granddaughter thing.
Yes. And we learned that Snoke was apparently an early clone of Palpatine's and early attempt at that. So nice to see where that came from and explains why he's so powerful with the dark side and everything. So yeah, and apparently Palpatine's able to transfer his spirit from
body to body.
From body to body, yeah. Because he was dead, but he came back. So
which it kind of makes sense when in Episode 1 when Yoda says there are always two, no more, no less. That way, when one of them's getting ready to die, they can just transfer their conscience into the next body. So,
and Rey completes her training. She becomes the newest Jedi,
the newest Guardian.
Yep. And the new Skywalker.
The new Skywalker.
Our first on-screen movie debut of a yellow lightsaber. Oh,
that was a cool scene at the end.
Oh man! And when the deaths that were done, they were done right. Leia's passing and everything. Some parts were predictable. I mean, I knew that it was Lando that rescued them, and I knew as soon as the guy took his helmet off, I knew that was going to be Lando.
Of course.
Yeah. I knew that Kylo Ren was going to Force heal Rey. Didn't expect him to die right afterwards, though. But
I did.
He did. I didn't. But I knew he was going to heal them. So yeah, there were parts I saw coming once they started, but even with that, just a solid conclusion. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah. So a great end to the Skywalker Saga.
All right, and my number 4 is Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
So basically, just piggybacking off of everything you said. Great movie overall. So much nostalgia. Where they're on the planet with the 42-year party. Star Wars came out 42 years ago. What Finn wanted to tell Rey was that he was Force sensitive. Not that he loved her, but that he was Force sensitive. Because if you think about it, when she's fighting Palpatine and they're fighting in the air, he stops for a second and is like, oh no, Rey. It's like, he's Force sensitive. And the scene where her and Ben are fighting Palpatine, it's not Kylo Ren anymore, it's Ben Solo, where they're fighting, and she hears all of the former Jedi from Qui-Gon to Yoda to Anakin, Ahsoka, Obi-Wan, both Obi-Wans. We get Alec Guinness and Ewan McGregor. Just a cool scene. Although, but I am all the Sith and I am all the Jedi. That was That was totally taken from Endgame. I don't know if it was. I doubt it was intentional, but it was the exact same thing.
Yeah, I like that part.
That part was funny.
If it was a reference, I enjoyed it. If not, I'm happy with the coincidence.
But I'm very happy with how, like you said, how they did Leia's passing, which I thought was perfect. I thought it was absolutely perfect. I knew Ben was going to pass when he gave all of his life force to save Rey, because she was dead. Yeah. She was dead. And the only way to save her was to sacrifice himself. And then she buries the lightsabers at the Lars home, which I thought that was a cool little
that was
homage.
Yeah.
Just a great conclusion.
It was.
It really was just a great conclusion of the Skywalker Saga.
All right. Okay. Number 4, A New Hope.
So we're pretty close.
Quite close on a lot of these, yeah. Yes. Like you said, the original is where it started. And we have all this because of that one movie. We launched an entire universe.
And gosh, what an incredible ride.
And all the quotable lines, all the classic characters. I mean, yeah, when we look at what the lightsaber battles have become versus what they were here, it does seem kind of weird, but then you remember one of the guys is 3/4 robot by this point, more than half, and the other is an old man, so it's elegant and simple.
Yeah.
So it has a beauty to it. So
it really does.
Even this old even this old lightsaber battle without all the snazzy special effects we have now, it's a classic. It's the one that started all. So, like I said, there is a simple elegance to it. There's a beauty to it, and all quotable lines again. You know, the classic. There's none of this without that one movie.
And what an incredible journey.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're at number 3.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Empire Strikes Back.
My number 3 is Empire Strikes Back.
5. I'm pretty sure we might have the same top 3.
Probably.
Empire Strikes Back, the sequel to the one that started it. You start off on Hoth, on the ice planet, Obi-Wan, go to the Dagobah system and find Master Yoda, who's this little green thing who speaks all weird. All right, put your weapon at me, you're no harm. Just a funny little puppet-looking dude, and trains him in the ways of the Force and the ways of the Jedi. We get to meet Lando. We get to see Han frozen in the carbonite. The big reveal, I am your father. It was just the great sequel.
Yes, absolutely.
That was a one tough act to follow.
It was. But, oh man, what... I mean, when Luke goes into the tree and fights Darth Vader, and knocks his helmet off, and Luke sees himself. You know, it's not the choice Luke has to make.
Which they did that in. They kind of did that in Rise of Skywalker too.
Yeah, they did it
with Rey.
With Rey, yeah.
Double-bladed red lightsaber.
Yeah. Great character development. You know, the Han and Leia falling in love thing. You know, that's clearly that's the Star Wars second best love story after the guys in Rogue One.
Yeah, which we're not talking about in this video.
Right, we're only doing this Skywalker Saga, but yeah, those two guys, they're probably not even gay or in a relationship or anything, but they have the best love story.
I would agree.
They're a bromance. All right, but yeah, Empire Strikes Back, a classic, often regarded as the best. It's not my favorite, but I put it really high. It's just such a fantastic movie.
It's a fantastic sequel to a great movie.
And I like seeing all the bounty hunters, because you have the mighty Empire, they can't catch one ship, so Vader has to call in these guys, really. And then Boba Fett's able to actually track them down. I know Boba Fett's kind of weighty, he doesn't really do much, but man, he looks cool.
And side note, shout out to The Mandalorian. Thank you, Jon Favreau. What an awesome series. I'm so excited for season 2.
Right.
What's the matter, bud? How you doing?
Yeah, so we've got the Boba Fett, we have the Mandalorian.
Mando is cool.
Yes, Empire Strikes Back, the original sequel. Just
Saga continues.
Yes. All right. Let's see if we have the same number 2.
My number 2 is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Mine is Revenge of the Sith.
All right.
All right.
Same number 2 and obviously the same number 1.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about Revenge of the Sith first.
Yes.
The finale to the prequel trilogy, leading into Rogue One and A New Hope. This was the granddaddy of the sequel trilogy. By far the best one in the sequel trilogy.
Prequel.
I'm sorry, prequel trilogy. Good call. Easily the best one.
Yes.
It's the culmination of everything that we've ever learned about Star Wars finally falling into place.
Mm-hmm.
We could see Anakin's turn to the dark side, the reveal of Palpatine as the Emperor or as the Sith Lord. A Sith Lord? You sure?
Yeah, he pretty much told himself.
Pretty much. We get to see Order 66, where all the Jedi are killed, and easily the most emotional fight out of the entire Star Wars saga is Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Yes.
The most emotional.
You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
And
I hate you.
we get to see the birth of Luke and Leia. That's the only thing that kind of bugs me about this movie is that Padme never looked 9 months pregnant. She never looked like...
She hit it well.
She really did. Just a great movie. Great end of the prequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm. It bridges it really well. I mean, we end up with seeing the construction of the Death Star, and oh man, the fight between Yoda and Darth Sidious. What an epic battle that was.
That really was.
Yeah.
It's just cool to see Darth Sidious in action.
Mm-hmm. And Yoda. I mean, and speaking of Darth Sidious in action, took down 3
Jedi
in like 2 seconds, and only Mace was left. So, and all 4 were council members, and he took down 3 with no effort.
Yeah.
The only one that put up a fight was Mace Windu. Oh man, and that was such a great fight. I was so glad that Mace got it to have a great battle. Yeah, he got a screen time. He got a great battle in. That was awesome. Man, and like you said, the emotional thing with the Anakin's fault, Darth saying, "Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?"
Killed the younglings.
He killed the younglings.
I know that in I think it's either Clone Wars it's Clone Wars. There's a scene where it's like Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. They're all talking, and Ahsoka asks him, "Would you rather than bring you in to train younglings?" And he's like, "No, are you kidding me? I'd probably kill them."
Foreshadowing. But of course, there is one major thing we forgot to talk about with this movie, and that is General Grievous and how awesome he is.
General Grievous is really, really cool.
And that his battle with Obi-Wan also shows how cool Obi-Wan is, because he fought off a guy who had 4 lightsabers against his one. And yeah, I think this movie, probably more than any of the rest, proves why Obi-Wan's my favorite character.
Yeah, Obi-Wan is the man.
Yes, he shines throughout the whole prequel trilogy, but in this movie, he really gets his time.
It's his moment.
Yeah. And
I know Hayden Christensen gets a lot of backlash for his acting in Attack of the Clones and in Revenge of the Sith, but he did a great job.
Yeah,
he really did a great job. Natalie Portman, Ewan McGregor, everybody just did a great job. Ian McDermott.
Have you heard the legend of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Yes, thanks for that meme.
Considered unnatural. I love how they brought that back in the Rise of Skywalker
right.
too. We just looked right at each other and just finished the line. That was great.
Yeah. So we could probably go on about how much you love this movie, but
the movie that tops it all, Return of the Jedi.
Yes, the original conclusion.
This was the movie. Just the end. This is a great end to a fantastic trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see Luke's finishing and becoming a Jedi. Him taking on his father, Darth Vader. We get to meet the Ewoks,
mm-hmm.
which are really cool little bear troll things.
Mm-hmm.
Leia, knowing that Luke is her brother, and Yoda passes.
kind of weird that she said she always knew when she made out with him in Empire Strikes
Yeah,
Back.
but we're not gonna
That's what I think. That's why Han makes that face he does. He realized.
probably. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about that. It's not Darth Vader who kills Palpatine. It's Anakin.
Yeah.
It is Anakin who comes back and kills Palpatine. Because Luke is just that big of an influence. It's not his hate for Palpatine, it's his love for his family that turns him back to the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, and Abby was right all along. She said there was still good in him, and Obi-Wan didn't believe it, and they didn't even tell Luke that Darth Vader was a father because they wanted Luke to be able to kill him when the time came.
Right.
But in the end, Luke and Padme were right. The Jedi, with all their wisdom, were wrong. You know, their love is stronger than the Force.
Great conclusion. Of
Great
the
conclusion.
Original trilogy, though.
Yeah. I know. I know people hate on how the Ewoks were able to beat the Empire. You know, because how could a superior Force lose to a technologically inferior species? Well, I can think of several instances in history when that happened.
Seriously.
Basically, all of independence of Africa in the 1960s. Do we even need to mention Vietnam, Afghanistan? So yeah, it does happen.
It really does. So,
and they had the rebels helping them too. So
this has always been one of my favorite movie franchises growing up.
yeah,
Honestly, way more than Star Trek. I'm sorry. I will always and this is the reason why. This will always be the main reason why I like Star Wars over Star Trek, because of the sabers. So cool.
All right. Anything else you want to say about any of these that we may have missed?
Not that I can think of. Honorable mention though to Rogue One. I haven't seen Solo. I still haven't seen Solo, but honorable mention to Rogue One, where they get the Death Star plans and start up A New Hope.
Yeah, and all those characters were great. It was done so well. I mean, even knowing that they're all gonna die, you still learn to care about them and their mission, everything like too. And of course, that scene at the end. We all love that scene at the end.
Oh, the Darth Vader scene was so cool.
So yeah, so even though we're not ranking it because not one of the 9 episodes, we do love our Rogue One.
We do.
All right, so we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment, share, all that good stuff. Later.